Welcome everyone to this review. Now this review is something that I've been thinking about doing for the past couple months. I just didn't know the right way to show it to you guys in my style of review. Now with this review, it's not going to get into the extreme nitty-gritty of how many pixels per square pixels per inch does it produce, but an overall feel of the camera. Now the camera I'm talking about is the Fujifilm X100t. Now this camera is the reason why I sold off my Canon 70D. Now, nothing against Canon at all. I love Canon gear. My first DSLR was the Canon T3i. In fact, I'm shooting this video right now on a Canon M3. But with the Canon cameras and most DSLRs too, they're just big. They're hunking pieces of metal and gears and image sensors that it's overall a pain to carry. My Canon 70D pretty much lived in a camera bag. I took it out every once in a while, took a couple pictures with it. I loved that camera. It was such a great camera, but it stayed in the bag. And a camera that just stays in the bag is worthless. With the Fuji X series, I've actually wanted an X series since the first one, the X100. I just never could find the time or the money to actually purchase it. It just never felt like the right time to buy it. Then they came out with the Fuji X100S. This was the camera I was going to buy. The problem was, when I was about to buy it, it was backordered for months and months. I just never found the right time to buy it. It was just backordered, and I kind of lost track of it. Then I had to move from Virginia here to Nebraska. My life kind of turned upside down, and I just kind of lost track of everything and trying to get my life kind of back together. Then, it's actually been about a year now that I saw that they had the X100t. I'm like, you know what? I'm finally going to buy it. And I did. And after about a week with this, I just sold my Canon gear. This camera was amazing. In fact, I recently went on a trip to Hawaii, actually about almost a year ago. And I took this camera with me, and it was a pleasure carrying this camera around. It doesn't weigh anything. When you have it around your neck with a strap, in which tomorrow's video will be the accessories I have with this camera. The strap, when I was carrying it, it just was with me. I could enjoy myself. I didn't feel like I was carrying so much gear with me. I just had this and a few other things, but this was a pleasure to shoot with. So much so that all my photos I post on this channel and on Instagram are shot with this camera. That's how good this is. Now I'm going to do a little slideshow of some of the pictures I took with this camera, mixed with like the travel and other stuff that I took with the camera that I just fell in love with. Now the image quality on this is amazing. Now this is a 16.5 megapixel camera, which is kind of a small compared to most DSLRs now, which are shooting up to 20 and 30 and somewhere around 50 megapixels. But 16 is perfect for a nice big picture, and the image quality in this is just amazing. This thing shoots like a dream. It captures color like no other camera would. Fuji, with their negatives, they knew how to have color with their negatives same way as the eye sees it, which is amazing. Now, as a portrait photographer and a street photographer that I would love to do in travel, the reason why this is amazing is, one, it has a built-in ND filter, which is kind of nice to have, just walking around, and I don't have to worry about putting on another ND filter. Big things about as a portrait photographer that this has, it does have a leaf shutter lens. So what that means is I can actually sync up my camera without using a hypersync speed or anything like that to a flash about 1,000th of a second. Now with most DSLRs, you can maybe get away with 2/50th of a second. That's kind of pushing it. I usually live around 1/25th and 1/60th of a second. That's where I felt most comfortable with my Canons, with shooting with my strobes. Because then I would get a frame sync off, and it'll be a black bar at the bottom or at top, and just a pain. But with this camera, I don't have to worry about it. I've actually shot in noon sunlight with flash at 1,000th of a second, perfectly fine with this camera. Now with the viewfinder, it has 3 types of viewfinders on here, technically 3. It has just a straightforward optical viewfinder, which is not through the lens, so you're kind of guessing the framing of it, but it gives you a nice little box around it to help you out. It has an electronic viewfinder, which does give you through the lens. The problem with that is it has a lag. And another one they have is a optical viewfinder with a little focus box that pops up that helps you manual focus if you're not a big fan of autofocus. Now the autofocus on this has actually improved since the 100, the original one. So it's just perfectly fine with me to autofocus it. Another thing that's kind of cool about this is the aperture ring here. You actually can do in thirds. So it has third click, so you're not kind of going from whole stop. You can do it into third stops, which is kind of cool. The shutter speed knob here is just cool too. It has a +3 and -3 exposure compensation dial right here. Overall, this camera is just a dream to shoot with. This thing made me want to shoot more and more. This thing is so light that it just, I almost take this everywhere with me where I go. If I'm going out, if I think I'm going out taking photos, this is the camera I have with me with my bag. In which tomorrow's video I'll give the, like I said, the overall accessories I have with this camera and point them out. There's really not much else I can say about this camera. It's just, it's an amazing camera to shoot with, and I absolutely love it. Fuji, I would love to test out your X Pro 2 now. That camera, that one has interchangeable lens. This is actually a 23mm lens, which is perfectly fine with. It's perfectly adequate for what I need it for, and 23 is a nice focal length. Now, the one thing I like about this is that when I hold it to my eye, you actually see a person here. With most DSLRs, they're big and they're bulky, and basically you're seeing this. And it's just, you don't see a face behind it. It's very impersonal, and it's just you're posing for this device, not for a person. Kind of takes away the personality you get from some photos. Now, this was just a review of how I feel about this camera, how much I love it. I'm going to be doing a 3-part series. First part was just kind of getting to know the camera. Second part will come out tomorrow, will be more of a accessory for the camera. And for the third one, it's going to be more of a how to shoot this camera with for what I do. How I set it up and how I get it ready for portrait shooting, because it's kind of confusing how to set that up for this camera. I'll post the links to where you can buy this camera, where I bought it from B&H, all down below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Fuji X100t. Now, this is the only still camera I use. Now, I'm using a video camera, which I'm going to be reviewing that soon. Just I'm going to spend more time with it. Fuji X100t makes great image quality. It's just an amazing camera overall, and great for travel, and even great for portraiture. It's lightweight. It travels light. You can put it in a bag with a flash and umbrella. You have your whole setup in one bag, and it won't break your back carrying it wherever you need to go. And this would be the camera I use to, when I can travel more, this is the camera I'll be using to take photos with. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and share buttons down below. I appreciate all your feedback and all your likes. I'm excited to see where this channel grows from there. Also, please hit the red subscribe button down below to stay updated and get notifications when new videos come out, so you guys can stay up to date with this 3-part review and other reviews and photo shoots I do with the Fuji X100t. Be sure to check out my Twitter, Instagram page down below. I'll post links in the description. Follow me on my Twitter, and I post updates about my life and where this is going with the channel. If this video is going to be up late, I'll post on Twitter first, so you guys can stay more up to date with what's happening with this channel and in my life. Instagram, I post all the photos I take with the Fuji X100t to share with you guys. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.